Yesterday was a lot of fun for a lot of different reasons because it's week 5, college football, which means that we got a lot of kiddos that are going to say, I'm going to redshirt and transfer, and you can't stop me. And I love this part of college football. I love it. I'm here for it because the old folks are all like, you know what, this is ruining college football. We got kids that want to treat this like the NBA, to which I'm going, yeah, they're the labor. You don't have a game without them. And you know what? Just because you go into the portal doesn't mean you come out. If you went in, you probably hope you're pretty good, and we'll see where you end up. But we've seen Isaiah Pryor, who is a safety at Ohio State, announced that he's going to redshirt transfer. He'll be eligible next year as a grad transfer. Maybe Alex Wrench wants to give one of his former players a look-see because they're kind of not good at safety. But D'Eriq King had his story evolve over a magnificent 6 hours, from where Joseph Duarte broke the story that D'Eriq King was going to redshirt and look at transferring. To which we had his personal QB coach, Quincy Avery, come out and say, hey, I literally just talked to D'Eriq King 25 minutes ago, and there's been no decision. To which I was like, yeah, okay, because Mark Berman was out here going, his dad said, look, we got a redshirt, and you got to be selfish, and you got to make it about you, because y'all ain't any good. Because y'all got losses, and your one win is against Prairie View A&M. And I love Prairie View and A&M, but, you know, you a SWAC school, okay? Y'all ain't y'all supposed to be an easy win. That's why I put you on the schedule. And then you got a statement released by the University of Houston's Twitter account, to which it said not just him, but wide receiver, they're going redshirt, and they plan to graduate and play at Houston next year. To which I'm going, Dana, what the hell kind of program you running there, dog? Because what you're doing right now is coaching malpractice, because you've essentially told your 2 best players who could really redshirt play next year that you guys can take the year off and come back next year because this year we suck, and we'll just go on as it is, and I'm going to throw my kid back there.
To which the Miami Dolphins have said, you can do that?
Yeah, well, it's worse for a college football coach because your kids will quit on you, and then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And you got a big money booster who I'm sure that didn't like to hear this message, because I know that Dana feels so good about himself that he would go on and not tell Tillman Fertitta a doggone thing. This is what I plan to do. And then you got to convince your kids to go out there and play for you? Why? For what? You told the 2 best players to take the year off, and we're supposed to go out there and die? No, sir. To which I would go as a parent, as a college football fan. You guys want to tell us all about how much the players are being selfish? What the hell is Dana doing right now? You were essentially flushing 8 games in the American, where the best player in the entire conference is no longer playing football. The hell are we doing, man? Like, why isn't anybody up in arms about Dana Holgorsen allowing this to happen? Why are we just sitting by and talking about, you know what's ruining college football? Transfers, redshirt rule. No, what's ruining college football is millionaire head coaches telling players who only have a finite amount of time, 5 years to play 4, that, you know what? It's nice, but I didn't recruit any of you guys, and in my first year as a college football coach at the University of Houston, in my reappearance here, I'm just going to go, you know what? We're done. Have a good life. Here's your diploma. I'll see ya. Sayonara. Now, I get you're making the joke, Patrick, about the Dolphins saying, what, you can do that. No, you can't. You can't. Because you're also, the message is skewed here, man, because the money is getting out the message. And we're doing this thing that I hate, where we stand with ownership versus standing with labor, knowing that 99% of us are labor. The reason that unions exist is precisely because things like this are terrible. And we got union busters as college football coaches. Does anybody forget that? Pat Fitzgerald busted a union and then had the nerve to yell about your cell phone. You know, what the hell are we doing here, man? We got Mike Leach, my favorite coach, talking about, you know what California shouldn't be doing is drafting bills and legislation because they can't even fix the roads. Yeah, well, this is one of those opportunities where I just take it up to dump on Mike Leach, who, again, is Just ride for his job and ride for the status quo. I ain't get here by listening to the status quo. And we can get real political real quick on this, and I don't want to do that. But you get my point here, right, Patrick? I mean,
well,
this is terrible.
You know, I do think it's a bad look for everyone around. But, I mean, is this a Dana Holgorsen thing? Did he tell King to redshirt? I mean, that's what I'm wondering here. Does King want a redshirt? I mean, well, how can Dana Holgorsen, yeah. How can Dana say, no, you can't redshirt, son, go out and play?
I mean, he could, but at the risk of losing D'Eriq King,
yeah.
Which I thought was also something that Dana Holgorsen would do, because I found this cut from a year ago where Dana Holgorsen is on the podium at West Virginia talking about, can you take us through your process for evaluating transfers, and how did Will Grier end up there?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things he went out of his way to say is, look, I don't want a kid that tells me that he's transferring because coach didn't like him and didn't want him to play. And we vet all our transfers, to which he's probably trying to spin this to where, hey, we're going to treat D'Eriq King like he's one of these guys we get out of the portal. Except he's not. He's there.
He's
right
already
now.
on the team.
And as soon as he graduates, he can leave and play right away. And that's the plan. The plan is for him to graduate. And you're taking him on his word that he's going to be here next year. You know who doesn't keep their word a whole hell of a lot of the time? Human friggin' beings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Things change, as they say. Dana Holgorsen, he left a job at West Virginia to take a job at Houston. Is he trustworthy? You know, I mean, we can start pointing fingers real quick on this thing, is what I'm saying. So you're like, did he tell D'Eriq King to redshirt? It doesn't matter. He's going to let it happen. Because he could just as soon say, hey, look, either leave or play.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're hurting the team by not playing.
Yeah.
And as much as coaches want to talk about hurting the team, what the hell is he doing now? I got issues with this, man. I got so many issues with this, because this is double speak out of both sides of your mouth.
And I think we both agree that we like the redshirt rule. We like the transfer portal. We think that it gives kids options. Does this fall under the unintended consequence? I mean, this to me is, if he said I'm redshirting and transferring, I'd get it. I'd understand. You know what I mean? It's. I think we've grown to expect it a little bit. We said, you know, we're 4 games in now. We're talking about yesterday. We're 4 games in now. This is when that happens. Jalen McCleskey, guys like that. It's somewhat expected. Yeah, for a guy to say I'm going to redshirt, I'm perfectly fine. I'm healthy. I'm going to redshirt, but I'm staying at my current school is weird, and it raises an eyebrow.
I think unintended consequences are a part of life.
Yeah.
And I think that this is one of those things that you learn to live with. That's what I think. Mm-hmm. I think it's the same people that are upset about this, the same people that are upset that they have to read the paper online, who, you know, probably don't subscribe to the paper in the first place.
You don't like to hold it in your hand? I'm just kidding.
I mean, look, yeah. but I also, I subscribe to the Tulsa World. I subscribe to the New York Times. I subscribe to the Oklahoman. I subscribe to the New Yorker, to the Atlantic, and these things get sent to me in the mail, but you know where I'm reading them? Where they're available.
Digitally, yes.
No, but seriously, period. If I have it in my hands, great. If I got to pull it up on my phone, woe is me? No. Get with the times. That's what change is about. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. If you want things to get better, you're going to go through these growing pains of unintended consequences. And we want players to have some freedom of movement. Mm-hmm. Now we got people who are saying, you know what, I like the redshirt rule. I wish kids couldn't transfer mid-season. Well, they can't transfer mid-season. They could sit out and then transfer. But even that, I got no issue with it, because it is forcing change. It is forcing you to evolve. And yeah, they'll redo the rules and they'll find a different way to go about it. But it's kind of like with them tightening up how you can transfer and get the waiver. You know, it'll happen. And we will police it as we need to. But I don't have a problem with any of what's going on right now. I think it's part and parcel to what we need to be doing in college football, which is making the game more equitable for the labor, which also can wrap around to, hey, if you were paying D'Eriq King, maybe he'd have to play this year. How about that?